Hey Clashers, we have the sneak peek number 3 for the Builder Base 2.0 update, and this means we upgrade the Builder Hall from level 9 to level 10. As well, stick around till the end because we will discuss when the update is going to drop, but for now, let's just take a look at the new Barracks. The new Barracks where we can unlock the new troop for Builder Hall level 10 in the Builder Base. And let's just upgrade that Barracks, and meanwhile, I want to quickly remind you about any offers whatever in the shop. Whenever you buy anything out of those, gold pass, offers, skins, whatever is in there, make sure to use a content creator code if you would like to support your favorite content creator. With clicking on the little C on the top right, you can just put in every code, and for me it is code iTzu. I would really truly appreciate if you support me. Thank you so much for that. And this, by the way, is how the new Barracks looks like. But there is new buildings which you can place with the new Builder Hall 10. It is one trap and one defense. The trap is just a small bomb. We want to concentrate on the new defense, and that is the new signature defense for Builder Hall 10. It's an expo. Now you might think we know what an expo is, right? Like we know, like you can put it to air, to ground, and yes, that's right. But there is a twist, there is a difference to the home village expo, because the range is not going to change. Now you might say, why should I ever put it to ground? I can't just put it to air, it's attacking everything. No, that's not how it works. In Builder Base, the expo only attacks ground or only attacks air, okay? That's really important. It's not doing anything in between. The air expo is only attacking air troops, no ground troops. The range though is always the same. As well, while I'm upgrading the expo, I want to quickly remind you, the resources on the top right, the capacity of the resources has not really changed that much because, well, it's only that high because of me using the developer build, right, for recording the video. Just as a heads up and just so you don't get confused. With that being said, we are already to max with the new expo. So let's jump into action and let's see how this new expo is shooting and how it's looking like. With that being said, we want to give it a test with the giant. Maybe that's a bit unfair, to be honest, because the giant is just the most tanky troop and it doesn't lose that many hit points. But it can deal a lot of damage considering knowing that those giants have a ton of hit points and it's losing them quite quick. But if you do not make those changes to your expo accordingly, you might end up the expo not shooting back at all. So you really need to make sure that shooting the right expo is always a priority for you. And if you want to have good bases and everything, make sure to follow the channel because I will drop a base video for sure as soon as the update is live, so you have the best bases overall. But with that being said, we see the max capacity as well at the top right, like it's 6.5 million of gold and elixir, which you can overall store. And let's take a look at all of those new level which we get with Builder Hall 10. Like not only the new defense, as well the other buildings are getting new level as well, and especially those push traps. They look really cool, I want to say. So Tesla could be more fancy in my opinion. But now let's get back to the Barracks, okay? I think that's what all of you want to see, and that is the new troop. It is the Electro Wizard. And what is it actually doing? Well, it is dealing a lot of damage, a lot of single target damage, which can stack up kind of as the Inferno Dragon from the home village. Let's just take a look in action how this looks like. Again, we have those wizards. They deal a lot of damage to a single target, and it's really good to snipe down certain defenses which look kind of isolated, for example, and especially have a lot of hit points. Because of the damage ramp up, it's really, really good, and it's a really solid troop to have behind any push, like P.E.K.K.A, Giants, for example, and other stuff. It's really nice to use for that, and take a look at how quick this Mega Tesla just disappears from that wizard. But there's a second mode, so the wizard kind of works as the cannon card. It has two different modes. Well, the first mode is shooting single target. The second mode is being the Electro Dragon version, because you are actually having a ground Electro Dragon now. Let's just take a look. We tank the expo with the giant again, and this time we use the Electro Wizard to chain in the entire base. It is crazy strong if the base builder is not paying attention and is having a high HP building on the outside, which is connected to a really important defense. Because remember, those lightnings, those chains kind of work as the Electro Dragons, which means if you have like a double tile gap, for example, then the Electro Wizard is not as successful because you do not really get any chains. So you can really nicely defend against it, but if someone is not paying attention, it can be really good. As soon as you're facing buildings which are more isolated, just switch back to the single target defense mode, or like single target attacking mode, and you will be looking fine. But now you're wondering about, well, how expensive is that? No problem. Let's just upgrade the lab and let's get a look. And let's take a look at all of those numbers. We have, obviously, the wizard starting on level 17. That's kind of with the new troop changes, and that's how it works overall, which is really enjoyable. Now, let's just get him to max and see again what the numbers look like. And with that already being set, or like pushing through right now, you can see everything what is going to change with upgrading every single troop. Overall, it's a massive quality of life improvement that you can start already on level 17. Just imagine that you would have needed to push this wizard from level 1 all the way up to level 20. That would be annoying, right? So luckily that is not the case. You only have to upgrade it 3 levels to make it usable. You kind of can envision it as in the home village, where troops are, at least if they're at least higher up, they do not have that high of a level. For example, the Electro Titan only had like 3 upgrades, which is kind of the same as over here, but just to make sure that all of the troops have the same level overall, they just start with level 17. They could start with level 1 as well, but that is just, in home village, it just looks chaotic, with like every troop having a different level. So I like this approach a lot. Again, we have the 2 modes, but now let's bring them into the action. Let's just try a real attack and see what and how we can combine the army, the possibilities we have on Builder Hall level 10. So let's just throw something together. We're using a giant. I want to use the giant and wizard trick again at the bottom side on this base. Then I'm trying to snipe a minion, or like snipe with the minion the top lava launcher. And that would be already huge, because then we can use the cannon card to have great success and snipe some other defenses. Another thing which you might have just noticed is that a double small mine does not take down a minion anymore. That is important because minions and dropship, spam got hit hard. Spam attacks really suck now, and it's not really like a good strategy. So Supercell decided to not nerf it even harder and make like double mine punish attackers who are like using their minions too early. So you kind of need now 3. But while we have our mortar keep going, and we had a nice minion triggering the Tesla, we have now on the other side the new air hero. Keep doing his business over there, going for some defense which are exposed, and I think this base perfectly showcases why you should not use the short range arch towers anymore, at least not with the common setup, because you just need them to have them on range. Everything right now has so much range that you need to cover that. You need to cover things in your village, and I feel like the short range is, I don't know, let's see if some base builders are going crazy and can somehow make good use of it. But right now, it feels really, really rough to use. At the moment as well, we have the wizard and the giant taking it Horn-off buildings out on the bottom side. And this looks already really solid, because we have not even placed the 2 baby dragons yet. That's what we're doing now. As my hero is getting pressured quite a bit, we have the giant ability to tank the Mega Tesla and the core. And then at any point now, we can just use the hero ability charging forward into the action and just dealing more damage, taking down more buildings, and we have pretty much not lost too many troops. At the same time, though, we have a couple of troops now recovering hit points, which is always nice. I mean, those, I think it's 24% or something, is always nice to have. And we have now the giant. Without his ability, it's not that useful. So instead, we can now use it to trigger traps. Well, let's just use the giant on the right side to see if there's any traps and protect my cannon card. And big surprise, there's a push trap. At this point, I really want to kind of talk a bit about more the balance, because I think Builder Hall 10 is not an easy level overall. Like, Builder Hall 10 is quite hard to get a 6-star consistent. In those videos and overall in sneak peeks, and I feel like the same thing is as well for other YouTubers, we're trying attacks a lot of times, and we're trying to make those troops and everything look really solid and fun to use, obviously. With that being said, though, is that this is then not representing the difficulty level of this specific level. Builder Hall 10 is not easy overall, and I really want to get this out there before people are getting confused, because things looked so easy in my or other videos of other YouTubers, so I really want to make sure that you understand that early on and not get confused. Push traps always being there where I play my test troops, and Tesla never being there would actually annoys my troops. Those things are no coincidence, and this is kind of how those videos work, if you might remember the recall spell overall. As well, I think it's really nice that the Bitter Hall 10 is not that easy, because there's always a nice success feeling in that Bitter Hall, because you get 3 stars. I mean, you might not get 6 stars, but you should get 3 stars, right? So you have the success feeling in some way, which I feel like then makes up for the fact that you will most likely, or maybe, not always get the 6 stars, which I think is a good thing overall, because, well, you need to get defenses as well, because otherwise defending and getting elixir is kind of hard. So I think you might know where I'm trying to go. As well, at this point, I really want to quickly talk about the update date, because Supercell says that the update is really close. As always, I can say that, well, sneak peeks are done, which means hopefully the update is really soon. And as always, make sure to follow the channel if you want to stay up to date with high level content and how you can improve with your bidder base and how to farm quicker as well, because if you're better in bidder base, you will farm more efficiently now, which is always a nice thing, which makes sure that you should follow this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next video. Until then, see ya and bye bye.